Let's talk about the index. Let's welcome on board Kunal, Nooresh, and talk about what they're making of the market right now. We'll have Siddharth Khemka as well join in on the fundamentals. Kunal, maybe not this week, but next week seems like all-time high is given.
Why not this week? I mean, I still believe there are 2 days.
I was still giving some buffer, but yeah.
No, I think, the point about the market in the last 2 days, why the Nifty has managed to come out of the 90,800 mark. And I think the reason for that, according to me, I think is, the move in India VIX. And I think that's one of the major reasons why you've come out of a narrow range for the indices into a bit of activity or a trading, in a positive trading activity for the indices. So that mild rise in India VIX is adding towards the fuel which the indices need. The bank Nifty is crossed back about the 44,000 mark. The put call ratios are very favorable as such for both the indices Nifty as well as bank Nifty. I think it's a classical setup. So my belief is that if the VIX rises for another couple of days, which it should on the build up to the election results event, I believe that there is a possibility we may scale past about the 20,200 plus mark pretty soon.
Okay, yes, India VIX was high by a good 7% yesterday, had gone past the mark of 12. Today, of course, it's high by I think just 1%, and we should pull up the India VIX to make that point as to how that entire move has been, because for the longest time it was between 10 to 11 range, finally now at that 12 plus mark on the India VIX. Yes, that's today's move, but if we pull up the 5-day chart, that will tell you the kind of improvement that we have seen in the momentum there as well. But Nooresh, one of the big talking points of the day has also been the bank Nifty, right? And in the last 3 to 4 trading sessions, we have seen almost a 800,000 point rally on bank Nifty already. Would you call it the bottom now? Is it finally breaking out?
So it's finally breaking out on the short-term charts. And we've started to see good momentum in the heavyweights as well. So today, the largest contributor on the Nifty and the bank Nifty is HDFC Bank. That's happening after a long time, crossing 1550, almost a 1 to 2 month high. Then you have Kotak Bank also making a pullback. You have ICICI Bank making a pullback. And the leaders continue to do well. So Axis Bank has hit a new all-time high. So very clearly, banks could take center stage from here. And a case comes up wherein we cross 20,200 and go towards that 45,000 mark on the bank Nifty as such in the short term. So overall, the bias is positive, and for the next at least 2 to 4 sessions, it would be large caps which could do better in the near term.
Okay, let's look at what's actually been holding up in trade in today's trading session. M&M, of course, is topping the charts. You've got a Hero MotoCorp as well, which is holding good by nearly about a 3.5%. Tata Motors, another 2.25% move. And this after that stock already hitting that 700 rupee per share mark in trade yesterday itself. And then, of course, a couple of these technology names too are making a comeback. There's Infosys, TCS, HCL Technologies, TechM, LTIM. They're all holding a buzz in trade. In fact, we should try and bring up the Nifty IT index itself. That's already powering ahead. L&T, much unlike yesterday where it was an underperformer and a bit of a drag, that's participating. So is the case with an ICICI Bank. So some of the blue chips as well are now participating in the rally, and that's not quite the case with the big movers from yesterday. Look at Adani Enterprises, that's down 1%. Of course, nowhere close to undoing any of its gains from yesterday, but it's a laggard nonetheless today. IndusInd Bank, SBI Life, Divi's, Bajaj Finance, Titan, Coal India, NTPC, they're not really doing anything. Let's welcome on board Siddharth Khemka too then. Siddharth, hi, afternoon. In the next lap of the rally, do you see a sectoral churn at play?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon. So definitely, I think that has been a case so far in this financial year, that there has been a lot of sectoral churn, and valuations have played a big role in that churn. And some of the sectors which have seen consistent growth in terms of both earnings, as well as a lot of sectors have benefited from a large order book, which is driven by the spend from the government side. So these sectors, if you see, the valuations have picked up, but there is a big sector, the banking and financial sector, which has been kind of an underperformer. And the valuations are now kind of in a comfortable zone. The earnings delivery has been consistent, and the compression in NIMs plus the higher base effect is now mostly factored in. Going forward, if we go by what the global commentary with the US Fed also indicating that the interest rate hike cycle may have peaked out. which could be positive, at least in terms of sentiments for the banking space, which could take up the lead from here, is the expectation going forward.
But what should one do with the real estate holdings? Do you think it's time now to take some profit off the table, or it's going to be a long bull run and stay put?
Yeah. So if you look at real estate companies, they have kind of registered the second best quarter ever, despite Q2 generally being considered a weak quarter because of the monsoon season and because of the seasonality. And you have seen a lot of the bookings generally happening in the festive season, which was in Q3. But despite that, we have seen consistently back-to-back quarters of very strong pre-sales data from most of the real estate companies. Also, the independent companies that have done analysis on the top 7, top 9 cities, demand continues to remain pretty strong. New project launches have been, companies have kind of controlled the supply, and new launches have been very gradual, and hence there is a big absorption of the inventory that has taken place. So we believe that the traction will remain healthy in the real estate sector. Plus, we also see a re-rating potential in companies because of the improvement in growth visibility, strong business, new projects pipeline, and the most important factor, cash flows have improved, balance sheets have been cleaned, and that gives a lot of comfort in the real estate pack. We prefer companies which are based out of Mumbai, so Mumbai region is something that we like. Godrej Properties followed by Lodha are our preferred picks. We have recently initiated coverage on Sunteck Realty, which is in the premium and luxury segment in the Mumbai metropolitan region. Again, a lot of new projects that they have launched. Premium luxury projects have seen a better absorption rate in the market, and again, one of the better cash flows and balance sheets within the real estate pack. So these would be our preferred picks, and we continue to like real estate in the current environment.
Right, okay, that's the take coming in on realty. PSUs, they continue to be the ones which are the big buzzers, and today too you're seeing a big move on a BHEL. A 6% move is what you're seeing on the stock right now. That's holding up very well. We've already seen how the new listing, IREDA, of course, has garnered not just interest in the IPO subscriptions, but even on day one of its listing, that stock now holding at an 87% premium to its issue price. $60 is where that stock is right now. Kunal, from the PSU pack and ex-banks, what's looking stronger to you? I mean, in the past, we've talked about NTPC, Coal India, and now BHEL as well is joining the party.
So BHEL looks attractive at current levels. I would still believe that it's starting off a major multi-year uptrend, even after the breakout which you've seen for the stock, I think the last 1 week from 130-35 levels. In fact, I think end of October, the stock was almost at 115 or 16 mark. That was the low the stock had made. And I think from there, the stock has risen up quite well. So it's almost a 40% odd jump for BHEL from that kind of a low for itself. Now, the defense pack is something which I would be still keen towards. So I think the likes of HAL, BEL, they would still look very attractive even from current levels. So it's not just a V-shaped recovery which we are spotting onto many of these stocks, but the consistent buying, the strong volumes backing the price up move, and lack of too much of time these stocks spend at lower levels. So that generally creates an urgency from traders to try and push up the stock prices. And I think that's one of the patterns which you're observing for many of the defense names, specifically the F&O ones like HAL and BEL. So those are the two alternatives which I would look to buy even at current levels.
Okay, so HAL from the defense ecosystem and BHEL from the power infrastructure ecosystem is the top bet. In fact, talking about power sector, it's also Torrent Power, which has seen quite a bit of charged up move today. At one point of time, it was up around 16-17%. It's off the highest point, but it's still holding on to gains of a good 12%. The other ones, of course, are the Adani group of stocks. Nooresh, coming on the entire group, has seen solid recovery from lows over the last 2 to 3 trading sessions. What should one do? Book profits or just ride the momentum in Adani stocks?
So out here, there are different baskets also in terms of outperformance and the correction. So if you look at the worst performer, it has been Adani Total Gas, which has gone down from 4,000 odd levels all the way to 500 to 700 zone. So there may be the bounce back could continue, but that's not the place you want to be. The better performers out here have been the first one, Adani Power, which made a new all-time high today. So that's a stock which looks a buy on dips. And the next one is Adani Ports, which is if we remove out the volatility we saw in February, it's getting closer to a longer-term breakout. Back in 2021-22, 900 was a major resistance that could break out going forward. So as an accumulate, I would go with Adani Ports as the top bet from the sector. The rest could see a bounce back, could continue, say Adani Enterprises till the time it does not cross 2700, 2800, a new trend does not start. So for now, Adani Ports would be the top pick out of the whole sector.
What's the top pick? We'll take a very quick break on that note, but ET Now and ET Now Swadesh are in line now with helping Indians rise with India. They've partnered with Sundaram Mutual Fund to launch Nivesh Day, a groundbreaking campaign to help viewers build their personal finance portfolios via regular and disciplined investing. Nivesh Day, in fact, is being celebrated on the 15th of every month. So join us on ET Now and ET Now Swadesh and Sundaram Mutual Fund to learn how you can build your financial future with an SIP in mutual funds.
What's your take? Finally, the two-wheelers are coming out of a slumber because of late we have heard the commentary that last couple of months have been better in terms of rural demand.
Yeah, Aisha. So I think that's the case. Exactly what we also did our channel checks, and that suggests that there has been a very healthy festive season for the entire auto sector, be it the two-wheelers, be it the passenger vehicles. But the story continues for two-wheelers post that as well, which is what our channel checks are also suggesting that and that is leading to us changing our sector preference towards two-wheelers over passenger vehicles. MHCVs have continued to do well. Passenger vehicles, there is a very high base going forward, and there is some slowdown that is expected, and that is why that segment is kind of taking a back seat, including the tractors. Again, while the rural sector is picking up and supporting some of the sales for two-wheelers, the same is not the case with tractors. If you look at some of the within the two-wheeler space, stocks have done well. But if you look at particularly our preference is towards Hero Moto, purely in terms of valuations. They are much comfortable compared to Bajaj, which has also done well. Hero recorded its highest ever sales of 14 lakh two-wheelers during the 32-day festive season, which started from Navratri to Diwali. They have also done well in the premium segment, the Harley Davidson and the Charisma in the phase one, where they already have 200 premium outlets and planning to further increase to 500. Plus, to add to it, the post the festive season, now the demand from the marriage season, which is we have all heard about the great Indian wedding season in the month of December, which is likely to fuel further growth for two-wheelers, including Hero Moto, which is our preferred pick in the two-wheeler space. We have a target price of 3,850.
Okay, that's the take coming in on where you're seeing currently strength in the auto pack. Of course, Tata Motors has been charging up quite a fair bit today. But Nooresh, within the two-wheeler pack, what is it that you're liking? Hero MotoCorp, Bajaj?
So Hero MotoCorp has been the favorite. The stock has already moved up quite a bit in the near term, but still it's just the start on the longer term basis. So even today, the stock quotes much lower than where it was in 2018. So still a buy on dips. Any dips back to 3,500 odd levels would be a buying opportunity. Overall, would have a target price of 4,000, 4,200 on Hero MotoCorp. So that's the best bet in the two-wheeler pack. The rest, Bajaj Auto, as well as TVS Motors are overbought on the short-term charts as such. So I'd be looking out for a buy on dips on MotoCorp and continue to hold on to whatever you have.
Take coming in on autos right now. There's Manappuram, RT Industries, Jubilant Foodworks, which is also seeing quite a bit of spike, about a 4% bump up there. Muthoot Finance, which is holding up a good 3% as well. So these are some of the pockets which are looking good. Actually, the entire QSR FMCG space is a buzz, because look at a move on Britannia also, for instance. That's also holding up a good 2% as we speak right now. But we will take a very quick break, come right back. We'll continue tracking markets.